let's rank the four horsewomen. Let's be messy. Let's be spicy. Let's be honest. Let's talk
Uh,
about it. There's
I
a
hope
lot of
your social security number is well hidden because they will find it.
there is a lot of there's a lot of history now to take into account when talking about the four horsewomen. And I think when you talk about a women's era of wrestling, I think they dominated now, and I think we're firmly in another era. Um, we can firmly say like the two top women now. You look at WrestleMania, Io, Rhea, Bianca, like they're the ones who were in NXT, and now they're the ones kind of like reaping the benefits, even though Charlotte's still there. But let's really kind of take in account, let's take inventory of these women's careers. If you had to rank these women's careers and what they've contributed and the quality of matches and kind of like everything in a bubble, and if you
Yeah.
had to rank all four of them,
No, I
where do
want
you see?
let's rank it this way, right?
Okay,
Let's rank it this way. Of course, quality of matches. Overall career quality of matches.
none of them are really bad, so it's not
Impact in the
okay.
game.
Okay, impact.
And I think that a big part of it is stewardship to the next generation. I think what they've done for the next generation and the things that they've done to help the next generation is really important to me.
Okay.
I think that's that stewardship towards the next and who's going to be next is definitely a huge part of why these people or these women will be successful, and that's super important to touch on. So
Okay.
let's base it off of that. So are we doing it just like we're just gonna say who and why, and are we doing least the worst or best the worst?
Let's do. All right. Who would we rank? Yeah, let's do best to worst. Let's do worst to best.
Worst to
I don't want
best.
to say worst to like
Let's not
worst.
say worst. Let's say
Yeah,
4-1.
4-1
Yeah,
essentially.
4-1. I'm gonna be real. I have to say that my number 4 is probably like Charlotte.
What? Whoa! All right, we're different. All right, cool. Go on.
Well, I'm willing to be swayed.
No.
feel like
Please.
I
I'm
feel like
willing to be swayed.
I feel like Charlotte has
I'm about
had
to
like
say
two of the
slayed.
most. I feel like Charlotte has had two of the most like empty. Like she has like what 14, 15 title reigns,
Yeah.
and like 3 of them are memorable. You know what I mean? Like she has so many empty title reigns to me that it just doesn't seem like they are as impactful as like Bailey's title reigns, which I can remember, and Sasha's, which I can remember, and even fucking even all of Becky's. Like we all remember those moments, and I think that like Charlotte be winning titles just on TV. You know what I'm saying? Like just don't even be mattering. You know what I mean?
I feel you.
Like what? Like what?
Um, I can't say. Well, my 4 is. I would have to say. I'm going to say Bailey.
Okay.
My 4 is Bailey. Um, Realistically, it's while she has the kind of quality of matches and there is a little bit of impact. There isn't enough impact, in my opinion. Um, I think she fully cares about wrestling, but I also feel like there's not a level of like. I think you got to be a little bit to be a top really person in this business. You
Selfish.
got yeah, and there
Mhm.
isn't any of that, which is a good thing. I think there needs to be a balance within the division itself.
Yeah.
But then there's also like if she was probably a little bit more selfish, she's probably a much bigger thing than she is. I can name the other 3 I can name having really large moments, orbits, um and I think history as you see it. I'll say this also as well. If there was a one has to be removed forever kind of like meme thing, I think most people would.
I'm not
I
removing
wouldn't.
Bailey.
I would think the easiest probably thing would be to remove Bailey. To be
Nah,
honest,
Charlotte is easily removable. I don't think I'm being swayed on this one. Charlotte is easily removable for me.
okay,
She's
that's
easily removable for me.
okay, all right.
We
What's your number
sat here and
3?
argue. We sat here and argue, make it make sense. And you're
I
gonna
know
tell me
we did, but
gonna fucking tell me, motherfucker, that you talk about this motherfucker should be number 4, nigga. Come on.
Charlotte is amazing.
At what?
Charlotte is really good.
Yeah, she's good. I think Bailey's a better wrestler than she is. And she don't got to do a moonsault off the fucking top to the bottom to the floor. She's still better. I
But
think
I think
Bailey's
she
a better wrestler.
I think Charlotte is the better. It's weird. So I'm gonna say this, and I'm hoping we can kind of distinguish this, and hopefully know what it means. I think Bailey's the better wrestling mind, but Charlotte's the better performer because I can't think of a bigger situation. I think if Charlotte has that match with EO last year, it's a much bigger deal and it's a much more memorable match
Cap,
than
no fucking way. Are you
yes,
serious?
yes.
No, no,
All right, all
no.
right. Who's your number three? Who's your
Uh-uh.
number?
There's no fucking way. Like that was damn near match of the fucking that was damn near match of the weekend. What are you
It was a
saying to
good
me right now?
match, but I think it's much more memorable in like kind of like history
Hey,
if Charlotte's there.
you said it, not me, bro.
Okay, I stand by it.
You said it, not me. I'm just letting niggas know. Meelz said it, not me. That is crazy to me, bro. Do you
how about
understand how crazy that is to say that Charlotte would have had a more memorable match? The EO Bailey match is already memorable. Just because you don't remember it don't mean other people don't.
I'm not saying I'm just saying it would have been more memorable. I'm not saying it's not
What
memorable. I'm just
define
saying
more
it would have
memorable? Define more memorable because let's be clear on that night too. No one was going to be more memorable than Cody and
been
Roman. Let's
Cody,
just be
of
clear.
course,
Let's just be
of
clear
course.
right there. Like
But
no
I
one was going to be
think
more memorable.
I look at it's hard to judge Bailey's WrestleMania work because she doesn't have a lot.
That goes
um,
into the. I think that the selfishness clause is definitely a thing. I'm not arguing with you on that, but like
I
Charlotte
think it's a perform. I think as a performer, Charlotte is much
all
better.
around, yes, all around character, all of that stuff, absolutely.
But
But
that's
however,
okay.
you're definitely underestimating how big Bailey was as a heel during that pandemic session. And
I'm not
I use those 3
underestimating.
years. I use those 3 years as an example of just how good she can be when she chooses to turn it on. I'm
Right.
riding here, bro.
But if
I'm not rocking with Bailey at 4. I'm just telling you that right now.
okay, Bailey's gonna have to be my four. We'll have different lists.
I got Cole in my 2.
Who's your number three?
My number 3 is Sasha Banks.
Yeah, my three is Mercedes. Yeah, for that
Yeah.
reason as
My
well. I
number 3
think
is Sasha Banks.
I wow, not us both agreeing. Um, yeah, no, my number three is Mercedes just based on I think she's a perennial. I think the way she treats her career has been and the way I won't say the way that she treats her career, the way she allows people to perceive her career is a major mark against her because you would have an idea that she hasn't accomplished anything because she hasn't gotten what she necessarily wanted. And that's kind of not how the wrestling business works in a sense.
That's not how
She's
anything works. That's not how anything works.
yeah, I mean really.
That's not how anything works.
So to me, I think that's done a little bit of damage in terms of how we see her because people instead of people holding Sasha to the extent of like she is this person because of this, it's more so she deserved this because she's a good wrestler. And that's not always the case. I think out of all four, if I had to put what Mercedes does best compared to all four women, um, good lord, I don't know if she does anything like the best. She might do everything like the second best, um, and that's probably the reason why.
I don't think I don't think she's a better character than Becky. I don't think she's necessarily stewarded the next generation the way that Becky and Bailey have done.
She's still trying to get
Um,
hers, and I'm like, "Yours 10 years later."
yeah,
Like
bro. 10 years later, still trying to get yours is nuts. That's why Charlotte's number 4 for me because she's 10 years later. She's still trying to get hers. Like that's nuts.
she put a couple people over.
Who?
She put Ronda over and
Yo,
Rhea
whoa,
over.
where's she at? Where's she at? Where's she
Don't
at?
hate the
I
player,
feel
hate the
like
game.
Becky putting Rhea over meant more than Charlotte putting Rhea over did.
I don't. We
Because
ain't,
you know
we ain't
why?
even get the match.
When Rhea beat her at Mania, Charlotte was on the side of the ring laughing, and I was just like,
But that, but
"Meelz, that was wild. That was a wild reaction for her to when she lost that match. Like I was like, bro, can you at least sell it a little bit?"
It's weird. I don't think I'm not gonna hold it. I still think the Charlotte match is better than the Becky match, and I think it did more for Rhea
I'm
than
not
the
saying
Becky
that. I'm
match.
not saying the ma I'm not saying the match was better or worse.
Okay,
I'm saying that it meant more for her to beat it's like she beat Austin. When she beat Charlotte, it was like she beat fucking
but
Chris
it's beating
Jericho.
It's beating Charlotte
Yeah,
though.
but Charlotte ain't Stone Cold Steve Austin.
But Charlotte is Charlotte.
So what? Charlotte ain't Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Charlotte won. Charlotte show up and win.
I
You know
don't
what I'm
give a
saying?
fuck. Beck, she's not. We'll get to it when we get to it. But with Sasha, I think that a lot of it is as you said. Like I feel like her fans definitely hinder whatever reception she has.
But it's also her. That's another major thing as well. Like
Oh,
it's
of
a
course, it's.
it's a lot that has to do with her. And people are going to say, "Oh, you hating? You guys have always hated Sasha." Blah, blah, blah. Like,
I think I'm just realistic. I think I'm realistic. I think a lot of people aren't realistic, and that's fine if you are a fan or whatever. Like you know,
do
do
you
you?
do you do you respect as we are a year later in her AEW run? Do you respect her going and doing her own thing and trying to establish her name for herself outside of like the WWE scope?
I respect that. I don't think it's been largely a success.
Successful.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think it's been a success, but I definitely respect it for sure.
I think and it's part of me, it's like the Moxley is the third person in the Shield kind of thing. I think she went to this new company because she was never going to get past these two Spectres who I'm going to put above her, to be honest with you. Um, and so she went over there to be the A person, but realistically, like you're kind of seeing why she was never really the A person
Mhm.
um, at all. But she's a fantastic wrestler, given the opponent and stuff like that. I think she is a student of the game, which is very, very important. Um, but I don't think overall that her success has been. I rank her over Bailey just purely on. I think this run outside of WWE has made her had a larger impact on the wrestling business just in general than Bailey currently, and that's literally just by running away and going outside of it.
Yeah. Uh,
So
she 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 she
she's
smells her
carved
own
her
shit.
own path
She's
essentially.
she smells her own shit. She thinks it smells like roses. And I think every wrestler does that. Let's be clear. I'm not saying that that's like a new theme for a
Hmm.
wrestler. You know what I'm saying? Everybody does that, but I think
Right.
that like we haven't even talked about matches in at any junction of this whole thing in having a conversation. I think a lot of it boils down to her character. It's been the same character when she was in WWE as it is in
Yeah.
AEW.
Lack of evolution as a
Yeah,
character is crazy.
there's no wrinkles, there is no adversity, there's absolutely nothing there. And I would actually say that I think that they did try and have that for her at multiple different junctures in WWE, but you know, she's just largely the same, and I think that that reacts and that reflects on her matches. I mean, we've seen her have the same match with Chris Statlander like twice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've seen her have matches where she's basically working like Brock Lesnar, and like if like, no one would fucking accept that if that was anyone else but her. And so like if we are have to be like you know ridiculed for telling our truth, then that is what it is. Like
I'm
I
okay
don't
with it.
feel
Yeah.
like I don't feel Sasha matches. Like they're very samey to me, and that's just what it
I th-
is.
I think she hasn't found her perfect opponent yet. I don't think she's found her perfect foil yet outside
She
of
did.
WWE.
Oh, outside, yeah, I was about to say
Outside
like
of WWE. In WWE, she has found many a foil. Outside of it, she hasn't found that foil yet that makes her look great and she's able to make them look great. I think a lot of this entire run, I guess, it is self-serving. And again, her fans and people will say, like, it's deserved. She's getting back all the things that she wanted and the things that she didn't receive at that point. But I think there is a lot of like hindrance in her evolution as a character and her unwillingness to do certain things that has pretty much stopped her from being as great as she probably could be. I think there's a reason why I think if Sasha stays, she probably does win the Rumble at some point. She probably does win has another major moment at some day. But I think her own frustration with it, with everything going on, and her wanting to do her own thing, it's been a double-edged sword because at one point she's carved her own path. It's probably added to her legacy just a bit. In the history books, it says like she it'll say she did it on her own. I don't think she did it on her own as to the level as she could have did in WWE, but whatever. Um, but she could have. I think she still could have reaped the benefits of a fully formed evolution of a character if she had stayed. But it is what it is. Um,
Number
who's your
two,
number? Who's your number two?
I'm gonna go Bailey number two.
Wow.
Um, Bailey has shown that she has been able to play multiple different characters. She's
Yes.
been able to be on both sides of the fence and do it well. I'm not too sure about the babyface Bailey right now. I think I'll go ahead and go on a limb, and I think that they're underwriting her right
Hmm.
now. I will say that, like, the selflessness. Again, stewardship to the future is a big deal for me,
Sure.
and I want people to understand that, like, that is a huge deal for me because of how important it is for the next generation to kind of, have their person, you know what I'm saying, and have new stars and new people that they can look up to. Like, that's very important to me. So when you look at it from that lens, you know, Bailey, she fulfills all of those duties, right?
Hmm.
And I think her matches are, again, they might not be always knockdown, drag out, match of the year candidate type shit, but they're always, always, always worth talking about. I thought that, unlike what you thought, Mills, I thought that EO match was fan fucking tastic.
I
It
didn't think it was bad.
had
I just thought it was more
had
memorable with
had
Charlotte.
Cody and Roman not knocked it out the fucking park a
Uh
year,
huh.
20 minutes later, we're having a different conversation. And I'm not saying you said it was bad, but I'm like, there's no way. No, you didn't say the match was bad.
You
You
just
said
said
it was more
unlike you.
memorable. You said more memorable, and I'm just like, what was more memorable than a match that people were like, literally as it was happening? I don't know how Cody and Roman are going to follow that.
Right.
Like that's literally was the conversation going on in our, at least in our Discord, when it was happening. It was
Fair.
that good.
Fair.
And we didn't get enough. We didn't get enough Bailey EO. That's honestly my issue with it, is that we didn't get enough. That's why I say they underwrite her very often. Where I'm like, okay, they find new and exciting ways for her to lose every single week. How about she be a little bit more selfish and say, no, I'm not fucking taking that L. But in a foursome like that, in a group like that, Mills, there's always got to be somebody that is that
Yeah.
character, right? There's always somebody that does that. Even within, like, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, they're a little twosome. It's always Sammy. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's willing to take that L. And that's what you need for the business. And I think that in terms of the business, Bailey makes the business better. Bailey is making sure the business thrives and goes forward, because, my number one does this too, but like Bailey to almost a better extent works with the women in NXT, is willing to lose on NXT to a lot of these people, and that's extremely commendable. I think Bailey is one of the greatest women's wrestlers of all time.
So my number two is Charlotte, and I raise you the situation that happened with Io to the same situation that happened with Rhea just a year later. And I think one thing that she's been able to do is rise to the occasion absolutely when necessary and meet the standard that she is honestly the impossible standard that she is held to. She is the daughter of Ric Flair, who is one of the greatest wrestlers of all
I
time.
don't give a shit about that.
But she's held to an incredibly, think of all the wrestlers' sons or wrestlers' daughters of those who were successful. You know what I'm saying? Like those who had actual success, not like, oh, fucking, no offense, but like, I'm not gonna say a name because that'd be oldie offensive.
What are you about to say? I'm trying to
I was,
figure out.
I was gonna say no offense to like these certain people, but like Flair is different.
Uh-huh.
And the fact that she's able to kind of like stand with a career that actually rivals Ric Flair's is completely commendable. And she's done the work to be able to hold herself into this position. Granted, she's been given a lot of it as well. She's been given this kind of like opportunity just by her stature, her size, the presence, and all these other stuff. But all those are major factors that factor into it. The only detriment I would have against Charlotte is her lack of versatility as a character.
Yeah.
She is Charlotte, similar to Sasha, and this is probably why they're great partners with one another. Similar to Sasha, her character has not changed. It has not evolved. It has not reacted at some points in a certain way. You literally copy and you can probably copy and paste this Tiffany feud that she's having right now with the
with
feud that
Rhea.
she had with Rhea, with the feud that she had with Ronda, with the feud that she had with Asuka, with the feud that she had with this person. However, when it comes to she is arguably the best in-ring performer, big match performer for women that has ever existed. Ever. I think she has, again, always risen to the occasion, always have the matches, always has the presence, always have the skill. She makes everything bigger around her just by being in that orbit. She, despite, I mean, there's so much things. Asuka had her big WrestleMania moment, even though she lost. Um, the what is the fucking other match that happened? Rhea, major WrestleMania moment. Kind of twice. I'm assuming the fucking one that was in the warehouse was supposed to be a little bit better. But she's risen to the occasion. I mean, she's just really, really good. Charlotte, to me, for all her flaws, which there are flaws and they're very loud and thing flaws, ultimately I can't really hold it against her because she's lived up to the hype. She's never like really let anyone down in a major way. She's kind of lived up to what she's supposed to be. And that's very tough to do. Um, so she's my number two.
Okay.
And our number ones are the same.
Yeah, it's
For
Becky Lynch. It's she's the
how
greatest.
did she when she would have been number 4 10 years ago by far, which is crazy.
She ain't been number 4, she ain't been number 4 in a long time though.
Yeah, not since 2019, 18.
Yeah, I mean, I say this with no uh exaggeration. Like she's the greatest women's wrestler of all time, the greatest one I've ever seen, and of all time. Like consistently over, consistently fucking work with everyone. Like one of the best big match workers of all time. Could get something good out of pretty much everybody. Like she's amazing. She's one of the greatest women's wrestlers of all time.
I think she finds she's someone who has a little bit of the combination of all the three prior.
Yeah,
She's able to have the big matches and make them have this big feel. She's diversified her character so much that she's able to evolve with the things and add wrinkles to all of them. And she's selfish enough to be able to, hey, I need this, I want this, and also kind of give back to the generation before and afterwards, in a sense. I think she's arguably despite people say like, oh, she's not the best in ring worker, or I think that's crap.
yeah.
Like, she's not the athlete that Charlotte is. She doesn't have the kind of I guess like the pizzazz. I don't know what you'd say with fucking Sasha. Um, I think her and Bailey are kind of like low-key on the same level, but she knows how to deliver this every fucking time.
Mhm.
We've watched her with Liv. We took her Liv, and this is a time where we didn't really believe in Liv. We were like, all right, Liv, come on. We watch her with
M-
Liv,
Made us believe.
Piper, Indy Hartwell,
Xia Li.
Zaya Lee, just last year, Tiffany Strand, Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks. I mean, she's done it with everybody in a
I tell you
major
what,
way.
Tiffany ain't gonna say that Charlotte helped her career the way that she said that Becky helped her career at No Mercy a
She
year
sure
ago.
won't. She sure won't.
She's not gonna
Well,
say
Becky not here right now, so
Not gonna I miss Becky Lynch. I think Becky Lynch is one of the most exciting performers that we have, whether she's heel or face. And I think that she cares about, even when she is being selfish, she cares about getting to that last part of it. And when you read her book and she talks about, you know, the work she did with Bianca and stuff like that meant a lot. Like she wanted to make sure that this she for all intents and purposes, her and Bailey helped make Bianca. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like there wouldn't be a Bianca without those two feuds. You know what I'm saying? And those are huge deals, and they made way for the next four horsewomen. You know what I mean? Like who would you say the four horsewomen right now?
Oof. The three that's wrestling in WrestleMania.
Yeah,
And from their class, God, I don't even know if there's another woman there.
I would have to bump somebody up that they came later. I have to bump
Yeah,
somebody up.
yeah, yeah. I would
It
have to bump someone up that came later. Let me look at the fucking roster right now. List of WWE
it
personnel
wouldn't
so I
be
can
Tiffany?
think. Tiffany's still she's so much of a different I get what you're she's so much of a different fucking generation. Bianca, da, 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 da. Let me just look. Because it might end up having to be Tiffany. Or it might just be three. Because it was supposed to be Raquel, but I don't know, Raquel. But
Raquel hasn't been she hasn't she wasn't terrible the whole way through, you know?
she needs to she needs something stronger to help her rise to the occasion, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
She needs a stronger performance, but she also needs stronger material to help her rise to the occasion. I think really Raquel was supposed to be there. So I'm literally like, if it's a four horsewoman, it's a distant fourth, and
Kyrie?
then the other three. Kyrie, nah, Kyrie.
Asuka? Oh, Asuka. Duh. What the fuck? What are we talking
Well,
about?
Oscar's like the fifth horsewoman of the original. Like she's like number five. She's like the sneaky number five.
It would have to be
Maybe.
somebody that came up. But there was so little women that came up after these 3.
Well, that haven't been given the attention. That's what I'm saying. I think it was supposed to be Raquel, right? Like Raquel
Yeah.
comes up and she's supposed to be this thing, and we heard some rumbles of that she may even potentially win a rumble. Um, but she's had a lot of setbacks, and then also I don't think she's connected with the audience in a major way. So I can't say there's a four. There's a big three right now. No Naomi, no Jade. Um, there's a big three right now, and that three are the women that are wrestling at WrestleMania.
Yeah.